Good morning, Kahal Kadosh, Shavua Tov Mevorach, Viruchim Habayim to everybody. Today, the fourth day of Adar, the second, Nisan. You're correct. I said the second, okay. Okay, you're right. Okay, you're right. Nisan 5782, corresponding to the 5th of April 2022. Today's class graciously sponsored by Elias Kababiye and family, Le'ilui Nishmat, his beloved father, Isaac Kababiye Ben Victoria from Mexico City, Alav Shalom. Additionally, today's class graciously sponsored by Mr. A.B. Frankwell family for the Refuah Shelema of Mr. Charlie Saka Yeshaya Ben Laura, as well as the Refuah Shelema of Rabbi Aharon Mas'ud Ben Sulika, Abraham Ishaq Sahi Ben Aliza HaKohen, and Svetel Sara Bat Rachel Hinda, among all of the Holim of Am Israel. Hashem give him Refuah Shelema. Amen. So I'd like to begin the class with something that we shared with the previous minyan. And the quote, the Shalah HaKadosh. The Shalah HaKadosh was a great rabbi, Shmuel HaLevi Horovitz. He is the one who actually wrote the special prayer that parents say for the spiritual well-being of the children, Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan. He is buried next to Rabbi Yohanan Ben Zakkai in the Tiberias Cemetery, a few feet away from the Rambam and his father. And he wrote a sefer called Shenei Luchot HaBerit, a fascinating commentary on the calendar and on the Berashiot. And he writes, and it says on the commentaries on the Gemara Masechet Pesachim, and he says a unheard Hidush. And it says, the Torah gives us a commandment. HaChodesh hazeh lachem Rosh Chodashim. The month of Nisan, which the word Nisan by itself means miracles, is the head of the Jewish calendar. So like in the Gregorian calendar, Hamavdil ben Kodesh lechol, January is the first month. In Jewish calendar, Nisan is the first month. Now, he writes and it says, Shebechodesh Nisan, that through the month of Nisan, Yesh lekol yemei HaChodesh kedushat Rosh Chodesh. Every single day of Nisan, it's like a mini Rosh Chodesh. It's an unbelievable concept. Maybe it's not Rosh Chodesh for the halachic aspects of the prayer of Sefer Torah, of Hallel, but it says the whole idea of Rosh Chodesh is about resetting our life. That's a gift that we get, that every month it comes Rosh Chodesh, we turn the page and we start a new chapter in our life. That's the reason why the day before Rosh Chodesh, halachically it's called Yom Kippur Katan, a miniature Yom Kippur. Why is it called a miniature Yom Kippur? And maybe for many of us it doesn't make a difference, but you need to know that in the yeshiva world and in some Ashkenazic communities, Yom Kippur Katan is a day of fasting, and is a day of prayer, and is a day of selihot. It happened to me one time. I was coming back to Florida. I needed to catch a minyan. Where I'm going to go in Brooklyn. I went to Lighthouse. You heard of Lighthouse?
Avenue L.
Avenue L, Hazaku Baruch, and East 7th Street, I believe. That's a factory of minyanim. You know, Rabbi Yosef also has a lot of minyanim, but the location where I was, Lighthouse was 2 blocks away. So I said, let me catch a minyan for mincha. And there, every 15 minutes, there is a minyan for tefillah. I think that they have minyanim maybe 20 hours a day. Yes. 20 hours a day, one after the other. I came from Deal in the summer or from the mountains many years back. I arrived to Brooklyn 1:45 in the morning. I went there, and there were minyanim galore.
Has more.
Shu as well. I don't know who has more. Both of them has. But I'm telling you my own experience now. Okay? Now, so I'm there, and I see that the room was very crowded. And I see that everybody's praying with a tremendous amount of kavanah. But then I see that they are praying from the end of the siddur. Usually if you do minha, you are, in the middle, unless you have a minha Arabic booklet. But what do I see? That everybody is looking towards the end of the siddur. I look behind somebody, what are you saying? And then I said, Selihot leyom kippur katan. The people in that room fasted that day. And somebody told me that they take out the Safra Torah, since they have more than 10 people fasting, and they do an extra long Amidah of Minha with built-in Selihot. So I asked him, when the next minyan starts? He says, in this room, maybe another half an hour, 45 minutes. Go downstairs to the basement, they have the ongoing minyanim. So this halakha of Yom Kippur Katan, which by the way, in Israel, last week, Erev Rosh Chodesh Nisan, they suggested to fast. Why? Because of the 3 simultaneous terrorist attacks that brought 11 casualties to Am Israel, one day after the other. One in Beersheba, and the other one was in Hadera, I believe, and the third one in Bnei Berak, unfortunately. So this halakha of Yom Kippur Katan is alive and well. Perhaps in our circles we don't do it, or we don't talk too much about it, but you need to know that this is applicable today. Move on to Rosh Chodesh. What makes Rosh Chodesh Nisan special? We learned this yesterday. Every day of the month of Nisan carries a different blessing. Today is the Shevet of Reuben. Yesterday was Zebulun, the businessman. Today is Reuben. Reuben is connected to Teshuvah, fertility and procreation, and personal holiness of Shemirat HaBeit. This is the Zechut of Reuben. Reuben was the first child conceived by Yaakov Avinu alav shalom, and Yaakov Avinu from birth till he married Leah had no any halachic issues with the Berit Milah. And that's the Pasuk says, Reshit Kohi Bereshit Oni. The beginning of my Zera was Reuben. So Reuben is connected to holiness and godliness. So says the Shalach Kadosh, every day of Nisan carries the power of Rosh Chodesh. Comes the Magid Mesharim, which was the spiritual teacher of Rabino Yosef Karo. Rabino Yosef Karo, Maran Bet Yosef, the author of the Shulchan Aruch, one time, for a certain period of time, due to his holiness and godliness, was gifted from Shamayim a heavenly creation to learn Torah with him. And they wrote a book on this Habruta learning. The name of the book is Magid Mesharim. If you search Magid Mesharim, is exactly what I'm telling you. So one of the lessons that the Magid taught the Bet Yosef says, there is a pasuk in the book of Yehezkel that says, Vehine itecha et dodim. Your time has arrived to spend with your beloved. Now, what is this? The time has arrived to spend with your beloved? Elu hayamim hakedoshim shel chodesh Nisan. This refers to the holidays of every day of Nisan. When I say the word holidays of Nisan, what is the first thing that pops up in your mind? Pesach. He says no. Pesach is coming in 10 days. Got it. He's back. He tries, but nevertheless, since I know him, him and I go back a long time. Yeah, from childhood.
He has our phone number.
Yes, but don't worry. Pesach is coming. We're gonna get rid of it. We're already trying to. With the Hamas, Hazal Baruch. Now the question is, what makes the month of Nisan so powerful the way that we are saying? To most of us, Nisan, preparation for Pesach. And we concentrate a lot on Seder, on Bedikat Hames, on the Siyum. Let's decipher what exactly is going on here with these days of Nisan. So it says as follows. Just 1 second. Let me introduce you a concept. The Jewish calendar, in the prayers, in the Amidah, 6 months we say, Mashiva Ruach HaMorid HaGeshem. 6 months we say, Morid Hatal. So far so good? Let's translate this for the virtual audience and the audience with us in this room. Mashiva Ruach means literally, the one that causes the wind to blow, Umorid HaGeshem, and brings down the rain. Spiritually it means, Mashiv HaRuach, when a Jew returns to Hashem Ruhaniyut, meaning you do mitzvot, you do ma'asim tovim, you learn Torah, you give charity, you act like a proper Jew. Morid HaGeshem, that opens the fountains of blessing to come to the person's life. That is one explanation. Beautiful. You give God spirituality, God says, no problem. On the same channel, I'm sending you berachot. Will you say no? Hazak. Morid Hatal, the one that causes the dew to come down. The dew, D-E-W. People drink Mountain Dew, okay? Or honeydew, D-E-W. Also, now we have zooming issues. Okay, no puedo hacer mucho, tell them. Hello? Yeah, seems to be working, but the end users are saying that my face and the whole system looks very narrow. I don't know why. Can you log into iTorah.com quickly? Find me there and let me see quickly what's going on. This is the challenge with technology. Yesterday also. Yesterday we also have it. But this you have to understand. I know, this is the yesterday working overtime. There's no other answer. Because the equipment is beautiful, running smoothly, but he always finds a hedge. The yesterday doesn't want to lose customers. Yes, you're in iTorah. Okay, let's look. I apologize for those. Okay, watch now. Okay, let's see. Very nice. It's coming in now. Okay, yeah, I have it. Okay. That's it. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Let's continue, Rabotai, without interruptions. Let's continue, please. So, Moridatar causes the dew to come down. If you remember, the blessing that Ishaq Avinu gave to Yaakov, which according to our holy books, it was in Pesach. When the Pasuk says, Veiten lecha Elokim mital hashamayim, may the Almighty give you from the dew from heaven. Interesting enough, our rabbis ask, why Ishaq Avinu uses God's name for a blessing, Elokim, the name of judgment? Short answer, Ishaq Avinu says to Abraham, Abraham, I'm giving you the berachot, but it's up to you, Ishaq to Yaakov. I'm giving you the berachot, but it's up to you to qualify for them. And that's why he said, Veiten lecha ha'elokim. Elokim means God's name of judgment. If God believes that you are deserving of the blessings, they'll come to you. If you don't deserve, the blessings will keep in the safe deposit bags in Shamayim. That's the difference. Rain doesn't come every moment and every day. Yesterday we had heavy rains in Miami. We've been at hail, barad, right? I saw pictures. Literally, not here. We were spared because you have the Safra Synagogue.
Okay.
True. Okay, but we are at the Safra Synagogue. That's it. Where you are now, that's where you are now. Of course, every synagogue helps, but I'm marketing, Anyways, but in other places in Miami, there was mamash. You saw some of the videos or pictures. Mamash, rocks.
Wow.
Rocks coming down. Mamash. It damaged a lot of cars. Yesterday afternoon, for a few hours. Not in this part of town. Okay, but that's very random that something like this happens. Tal, dew, comes down every day, without fail. We don't see it because the sun evaporates the dew, but usually the dew comes second half of the night, early morning. If you go outside, you touch the grass, you touch your car, you'll see a layer of moisture. That is the tal that comes daily. That called that tal like maintenance program for the earth. Every day, and that's going to be, by the way, Tehiyat HaMetim. Tehiyat HaMetim will happen from the dew that will come from the heaven. But there is a huge difference. The dew of Tehiyat HaMetim, it's dew created by words of Torah. Kital orot talecha. That's the verse that we say to those sitting Shiv'ah, God forbid. What do we say to the person? Kital orot talecha. The dew from the orot, from the Torah learning, talecha, is going to resurrect the dead person when Mashiach comes. And that's why so much emphasis and investment is being made also for Torah learning. Not only to learn how to act and how to live like a Jew, but when we learn Torah, we are saving. We are making direct deposit into our savings account in Shamayim. For what? For Tehiyat HaMetim. Because if you have no Torah, how do you manufacture dew of Torah? You can't. So we learn, and then there is that particular project. So what does it mean? Here it explains that both half of the year somehow, somewhere, have a connection with the concept of water. The first half of Nisan is the connection to the rain department. When first day of Pesach comes, not the last day, first day Musaf, we begin with the tikkun known as tikkun Atal, and we make the switch from Mashiv Ruach to Morir HaGeshem. Further, Igra de Kala in the topic of Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and it says, we have 12 Nesi'im, correct? We start Yehuda, Issachar, then we have who? Zebulun yesterday, today Shevet Reuben. Every tribe, different day. So it says as follows, that every day of Nisan, from day 1 to day 12, becomes the foundation of that particular month throughout the year. What does it mean? Today is the 4th of Nisan. So what is the 4th month of the Jewish calendar? Let's do it together. Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz. So whatever I do today, it will have a foundation for the month of Tammuz. Tomorrow, it will be for the month of Av. Tammuz is the Hebrew month of the breaking of the Luchot. So Shabbat was the day for Nisan proper. Sunday was for Iyar. Yesterday was for Sivan. Today for Tammuz. Tomorrow for Ab. The following day for Elul. And consequently, which is fascinating, I'm doing something today and I'm going to set up the stage for 4 months from today. Heavy. 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 Unbelievable. That's a Kabbalistic combination between the months.
What is setting up for?
That's simple. That's simple. We have 12 leaders, 12 months, which is from a Kabbalistic perspective, and especially on the topic of Mazalot, the zodiac signs, right? The horoscope. I'm not talking about the Goim horoscope, but that is based on Torah concept. Every Jewish month has a peculiarity. Color of the month, symbol of the month, and tribe of the month. What is the zodiac sign for the month of Nisan? Taleh, Aries. What's the symbol in the zodiac of Aries? The lamb. Korban Pesach. What was the month of Adar in the zodiac sign? Fish. Pisces, or Pisces in Spanish. Pisces is fish in Latin. What is the mazal of Adar? The fish. Elul. Or let's go September. What do you have in September? The scales. Rosh Hashanah, Judgment Day.
How about February?
Look, bring me the zodiac, I'll tell you. I'm not so. Hey, what do you want? And ladders, Rabbi G.
The zodiac is Aquarius.
Okay, you bring it to me, I'll explain it to you. So every month has as I said, a symbol. One of them is called Virgo. Virgo is Elul. Virgin. Because when you do Teshuvah, you can become as holy as a virgin. Betula, that's a siman.
And it's good in the Elul time.
Excellent, Rahamim. The Baal Shem Tov says on this that we're saying now, that if a person missed this opportunity that we're discussing today, that the first 12 days of Nisan connect to the month, he says, the last 12 days of the year, you can remedy the mistakes of the past. And every day of the year, counting from the 18th of Elul till Rosh Hashanah, corresponds to one day of each month of the year. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Very deep.
It's deep. And you come here to listen to deep stuff. Chazak u'baruch. Not only that, we'll tell you one more, since you're such a good audience. That includes you. Toda Rabba. So he's looking at me. I'm included or not? I read you. I read your head, your forehead. It's good to wear a baseball cap. You're trying to camouflage it. Anyways, you know that according to Kabbalistic writings, the forehead of the person is the blackboard of the person. The spiritual blackboard of the neshama is found here. Different topic, not for today. How the Torah, you should know this answer. How the Torah calls the month that we left Egypt is part of our daily prayers. Kadeshli kol bechor. I give you a hint. Hayom atem yoseim bechodesh hazak u'aruch. 100 points. Chodesh ha'aviv. What's the meaning in Hebrew? The word aviv. Spring. Primavera in Spanish. You know what Degel Mahane Ephraim says? That the word aviv is ab yod bet. Ab yod bet. The father of the 12 months. The whole year, it says the Degel Mahane Ephraim follows the month of Nisan. You know why? Because the month of Nisan, every day carries a tremendous amount of blessings. The month says Nisan. Why do you think it's called Nisan and not Suzuki or Mitsubishi? Why it's called Nisan? Competition. They know. What do you think when they put labels to a car? Genesis, Bereshit, Infinity, Elokut, Nisan,
Amazon.
Amazon,
Amazon.
Birkat Hamazon. Right? That's why they have their own berakah. What do you think they are successful? You need to read Rabotai. Open your eyes, like the song says. Open your eyes. What do you think? Amazon. Why Amazon ever went to the Amazons in Brazil? I'm not sure if you ever went to the Amazons in Brazil. Okay? Which, by the way, the Amazons in Brazil, which is very near the area of Manaus, it was the first port of entry for Sephardic Jewry that escaped the Inquisition from Spain and Portugal. And for many generations, they had a very strong community with great Talmidei Hachamim, many of them from Holland.
Living there?
Living, sure. Today, the community is very small, but go back 300 to 500 years ago, it was the mega center of Judaism in São Paulo, Brazil.
So it's still in Amazon.
Sure. And there are great Talmidei Hachamim buried there. Many of them originally from Holland, Hachmei Amsterdam. Sure, it's a known fact. So going back to Amazon, why Amazon is called Amazon? Because of Birkat Amazon.
That's why it's blessed, huh? Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Let me bring you another proof.
Sure.
Heinz ketchup.
Yeah.
How many varieties they have? Why 57?
The number.
Because in the Amidah there are 57 berachot.
Wow.
Shaharit, Mincha, Arvit, 57. How do you say nourishment in Hebrew? Zan, 57.
Around brilliant also 57 cuts.
ברוך אתה השם אלוקינו מלך העולם, הזן את העולם, הזן את הכל, זן 57. What, you're going to tell me that in 57 years they didn't add more flavors to ketchup? But they know that the number, you know, there are many more companies that they have some type of godly message or hint from the Bible or from the Torah from our perspective. But in a more serious note, it says an interesting concept. From the Be'erot HaMayim, he says that the month of Nisan gives the person the opportunity. I'm going to read you quickly. And it says, Be'yesh beyad ha'adam, it's in the power of the person, lezakot, to purify themselves, or la'oz beta'asumot ha'nefesh, or to develop a fervent desire, שיוכל להתחזק ולהתחיל את עבודתו מחדש. The person is given a heavenly power to restart the connection with the Kadosh Baruch Hu and not allowing the silent voice that attempts to convince the person, and I read you the language, בלא להתפתות מיצרו, and not to be seduced by his evil instinct, המרמהו, that cheats the person, שכבר אין לו תקנה חס ושלום. You know what? He says there is no hope for you. God forbid. God forbid that a Yehudi has these feelings of spiritual disappearance. And here he brings an interesting concept of the Ismach Moshe. The Ismach Moshe was a great tzaddik who lived 200 years ago. And why is called Ismach Moshe? Because the name of the book that is known for is Ismach Moshe on the Torah. And it says as follows, that in the month of Nisan, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us blessings in advance. And it says why? It says very simple. Because Hashem has a happy reminder about the Jewish people. It's unbelievable what he says. He says, what is God's reminder of the Jewish people? So it says, Ismach Moshe, we left Egypt. What was the goal?